Because, you know, Mitt Romney has been going around, and I think he said it in the debate the other night. You know, he's made it on his own. Now, on its face, if I didn't even have this story right here in front of me, I would say this is a function of the classic conservative delusion. And it's even more diluted coming from Romney, because this guy's father was a U.S. senator. This guy's father was the head of a major U.S. car company. Now, let's assume for the moment that this guy's father didn't give him a dime. You're 16, you're out of the house, that's it, make it on your own. I'm not going to pay for your college. I'm not going to pay for your law school or your business school. I'm not going to pay for your housing. I'm not going to give you, I'm not going to pay for your health insurance. I'm not going to pay for anything. You get zero from me from this day on. And if you get in trouble, I'm not going to help you out. And you're not going to inherit anything. Let's assume all those things, just for the sake of argument. If you are raised in a household where your father is a senator, or never mind a senator, if your father is an attorney, if your father is the chair of the largest car company in the United States, or the third or fourth largest, or if your father is the CEO of a small but thriving company in a small city, you are automatically more advantaged. Never mind your skin color. You are automatically more advantaged simply by the fact that you are exposed to wealth and to mechanisms that will accrue you wealth down the road in ways that the vast majority of Americans are not. The vast majority of Americans. And if you don't appreciate that you have that advantage that most Americans do not have, you are deluding yourself. So even if Mitt Romney had been completely cut off by his father, he would have had an advantage that most Americans don't have. But the fact of the matter is, Mitt Romney was not cut off by his father. Mitt Romney's father paid for his college education. That's a huge bonus. So you graduate college, you do not have student loans to pay off, which means that you have a much wider set of options as to what you're going to do with your life. Even if his father had not paid for his college and he did have student loans, the idea that your father's wealthy and will come and help you out if something horrible happens, if you take a business risk that turns out not to work, if you get into a car accident, it gives you freedom of options. I don't think I would have ever gone into any of the professions that I pursued, were it not for the fact that I knew that if I totally bottom out, I will not be living on the street. My dad's not a millionaire, but he was an attorney in Massachusetts. Worcester is not the hub of international industry, but I knew that I could take certain risks as a 20-year-old. I'm not talking about bungee jumping. I could take certain risks with pursuing what I wanted to pursue in terms of, the comedy. That it was a much easier decision for me to make than if I had been, that I had student loans, or that I knew that my dad said, I don't care whatever happens to you. You can be living on the street. We may visit you down at the corner. But that gave me basically an insurance policy in my back pocket that allowed me to take more risk. Mitt Romney's insurance policy is a little bigger than mine, despite the fact. Andrew Sable, blogger at Same Facts, dug up a Boston Globe story from 1994 when Romney was running for Senate. And his wife, Ann Romney, tells the story. These were not easy years when we went to BYU, Brigham Young. That's where most of the Mormons go, I guess. You have to understand, I was raised in a lovely neighborhood, as was Mitt. In other words, we grew up as very wealthy kids. And at BYU, we moved into a $62 a month basement apartment. $62 a month, back, I think this is early 70s maybe, was actually not some money, but still, okay, let's assume it's a dump. We were happy, studying hard. Neither one of us had a job because Mitt had enough of an investment from stock that we could sell off a little at a time. So these 18-year-olds had a nice stock portfolio. What was that? The stock came from Mitt's father. When he took over American Motors, the stock was worth nothing. But he invested Mitt's birthday money year to year, which of course we know all Americans get a bunch of birthday money each year to year. It wasn't much, a few $1,000s, which actually was not an insignificant amount of money in 1970, but let's say a few is $3,000. Which is the least amount a few thousand can be. Maybe it was 6,000, but let's just give him the benefit of the doubt, 3,000. And he put it into American Motors because he believed in himself. 5 years later, stock that had been $6 a share was $96 a share. So if it was a few $1,000s, 3,000, at $6 a share, we are now talking about $18,000. Your apartment is $62 a month. And you have $18,000. You don't have any school bills. It doesn't sound to me like Mitt, who didn't have a job, paid for his own school. At $96, if I do my math correctly, you have $3,000 that buys a stock at $6 a share, right? So he would have... How many shares would he have? I guess 200? No, more. Work that out. I can't do the numbers, but I'll tell you, he did it. It was $60,000 in 1969, which would be the equivalent of $377,000 in today's dollars. So they had in their bank what would be the equivalent of $377,000. And they were roughing it. Now, fine, you had a bad apartment. Because she would say, my father had become wealthy through hard work, as did Mitt's father, but I never expected our parents to take care of us. Guess what? They did. They'd visit, laugh, and say, we can't believe you guys are living like this. Wow, you guys are living like college students in college. And by the time those 4 hard years of college passed, with the horrible insecurity of knowing they only have $377,000 in the bank at age 20. That's in our dollars. In their dollars, it was $60,000. Mitt got one loan from his dad. When he went to Harvard Law School, presumably his father's paying for Harvard Law, to buy a $42,000 home in Belmont. The mortgage payment was less than rent. It was $400 at the time when they moved to Boston, I guess in the early 70s. And 7 years later, they sold it for $90,000. So except for those tiny stakes, now remember, this is in $1970. A $40,000 home. It's probably worth 3 or 4 times that, 5 times that, just in today's dollars. That's a $300,000 starter home that they sold for $600,000 in today's dollars. $500,000. I mean, this is the delusion of the right. Even when they are handed just about everything relative to what most people are handed it, they still think it's just them.